All right, welcome back to Mac Street Garage. You saw on a previous video this license plate that I stripped and repainted. Trying to figure out how to make these letters again. I had a couple of options. One was to find letters, because these are standard license plate numbers, so I thought. They are 3 inches high, but they're only 1.5 inches across, and you can't really find the stickers that go on there, because they're not really stickers. They actually print them at the place where they make license plates. So what I had to do was I had to go down to Michael's, or rather, Michael's, and I bought this. You can see it's the Make Market Permanent Vinyl Glossy Brilliant. It's supposed to be waterproof, sun resistant, whatever, and able to be cut easily. So what I've done is I've cut this piece the same size as the license plate. I'm going to show it to you this way. Of course, if I had my tripod, it might make this easier. But anyway, I let it overlap just enough that I can roll it up over onto this little hump. Hopefully I can do all of these numbers and letters and all of this up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. You can see I've already started the corner, which is the hardest part. And I'm going to lay this on top of here and then just slowly press on, not to put it all down in this area, but just raised up on the letters, and then very carefully, hopefully, I can do well enough with an X-Acto knife that I can get these letters cut out. So I'm not going to videotape that because it's probably going to take me a good hour, maybe 2 to do that, because I have to go slow. I may do the edging first to get that out of the way, or I may say that last just to keep this vinyl up off of the license plate. So let's get started. Stand by. I'll be back in, I don't know, an hour or 2. Stand by. All right, got that taken care of. I was happy that this didn't curl up around the edges. You can see I'm right on the edge here, and a little bit of an overlap there, right on the edge over here, and I have the overlap on that side. So now I just have to very carefully flip this over. If I can do this without getting them, without making a big old mess. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll fold, I don't know. Should I fold this over or not? Well, while I'm trying to figure it out, stand by. You'll see the end result no matter what I try to do. I'll be right back. Now, even though this looks yellow, it is white. I just have a yellow bulb in that lamp. It makes it easier for my eyes. So now I'm just going to go, you can see that I started doing this with the 3. I'm just going to go around and do the 3. I think this is a J, if I remember correctly. Yes, there's the J. There's a little dot right there. And then we'll do that some more. And then there's the 4. Cross. What is this? Oh, it's a 3. Another 3. Okay, well, this is going to take me a little bit longer, and I need to use both hands. So I'll be back as soon as I start the cutting process. All right, well, that didn't work out very well. You can see where I gouged the 3. And here on the dot and around the E, it was sticking to this way too much. So I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is make a 3 by 1.5 square like this, and then just lay it over the individual letter and do it one letter at a time. You can see that the paint is peeling off here. So, I guess we'll find out. Stand by for plan B. All right, there we go. So what I did was I cut out 1.5 inch by 3 inch piece of the paper that came from the scrap from before. It covers the E just fine, covers the 3, covers the 4, covers the 3, covers the J. So now all I have to do is cut out these 3 inches by 1.5 inch blocks, put it on top of there, do what I can. I think what I may do is rough this up a little bit just so it'll stick. I'm thinking that's where my issue is. Yep. So let me see what I can do. I may have to end up stripping this all off, putting the letters on, and then repainting. So we'll see what happens. Stand by. All right. After much contemplation, I got one of my kitchen scrubby pads, a clean one, one of the Scotch-Brite things, because technically it's the same thing people use to scuff up the paint whenever they're painting a car. So what I'm going to do is just lightly go over top of this, knock the shine off, just enough to make it smooth. Ooh, there's a bump right there. Ah, there you go. See, there you go. Find these little bumps, get rid of these bumps, and then we'll go on with my plan and see how all this works out. Stand by. Now, I know it might be a little bit hard to see, but if I turn it sideways, you should be able to see a little bit of see how it's shiny there, and it's kind of scuffed there. See the difference? So that should be just enough. I found some bumps and humps on these letters, and so that should work. So let me get to cutting the 3 by 1.5 and see what I can do. Well, that's not going as well as I expected. The E was pretty good. The 3 looks like a 3-year-old, and the 4 kind of looks like a 4-year-old. I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and lay tape across the top of this, like I saw somebody do for a valve cover. Lay the blue tape over this, rub it, spray paint it, and it'll be done. And then later on I can come in with some black around the lower, the angle part here, and make it look better. So I'm going to stop doing this, break out the painter's tape, lay all the way across, and go from there. So let's go to plan D. Okay, looks like plan D worked. I put the painter's tape over top of it. I went out into my shed and I got 800 grit sandpaper, and it was taking forever. So I went down to 320 grit sandpaper, and it took it down, most of it to the metal. This is the paint and the primer that's underneath of it. So if I tilt this up a little bit, you'll see that most of the tape is off of that area. So now I'm going to go outside, spray some brilliant white paint. I thought about chrome, but we'll see what happens. Stand by. All right. The first coat of white is on. And you know, I'm thinking, I kind of think maybe, I might like the chrome letters raised instead of the white. But you know what? I'll go ahead and finish with the white and see how I like that. If it doesn't work out, I can always use the Easy Off Oven Cleaner, strip it down to the bare metal again, and try a different color. Either way, let's see how this works. All right, we are back and the paint is dry. Just to let you know that what I used, just regular painter's tape and regular enamel paint. I took, to get the masking tape off of the raised letters, first I used 800 grit sandpaper, and that really wasn't gritty enough. So I dropped it down to 320, which was gritty enough, but I'm thinking I should have used like a 200, or probably about as far as I'd want to go, because you can see here that I didn't quite get all of the paint off, and it shows up in the paint that's on there now. So what I'm going to do is turn the phone off, peel all of this paint or tape off, and see what that looks like. So stand by. Well, that didn't work out as well as I'd planned. I started pulling up from here to take the first layer off. All it did was peel around the exterior and then come down and peel the exterior off the bottom. So I had to go in the house, get my X-Acto knife, and I want to look up underneath there and pluck all that off of there. So stand by. All right, if you look around, you can see the pollen is out, the buds are out, the oak trees are starting to look nice. If you have severe allergies, this is not the month for you to come to Florida. Give it another 30 days, then you can come down. All of the pollen should be pretty much gone. So back to this. I'm 80% satisfied with the results. What I wanted to do, I did. The quality of what I was looking for is the missing the 20%. And the reason for that is that I believe this paint that I used for the base isn't good for non-porous metals, but if you use it on aluminum or something like that, it would work better. So what I'm going to do is strip all of this off with Easy Off, front and back, take it back down to the metal, prep it, clean it really well with some something that takes all the oil and grease off of the metal and make sure it's as clean as possible. Spray rust converter on the front, rust converter on the back, let it sit for 24 hours, give that another coat of rust converter, and then I'm going to take high gloss black and I'm going to paint everything, the front and the back. Give that a couple days to dry, a couple coats of the black maybe, and then I want to come back with my chrome paint, and I want to paint this license plate chrome. The reason I'm going to go chrome is you can't really use this license plate. It's not legal, not even in Ohio, to use, just because, you know, that's the government. But after I put on the chrome paint, give that a week to dry and cure, then I'll come back and I'll get some black paint and I'll paint these letters, or numbers and letters, and the outline around that. So it'll be a chrome license plate with black letters, and it'll look really, really nice tagged on the front of the car, because in Florida, you don't have to have a front license plate, so I can drive and it'll be no problem whatsoever. So that's all from Max Street Garage. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas of what I did wrong and how I might make it better the next time around, let me know, all right? So take care of yourself, be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.